各位亲爱的网友朋友，大家好。
Hello, my dear friends.
今天时间来到了我们念佛班的第6天
So
啊。
today is day
昨天呢
6 of our chanting
大
class.
家就是回答了一些网友的来
Yesterday,
信啊。
we answered some of our online friends' questions, especially on the physiognomy.
那
You know,
些针
those,
对性的问题，
yeah.
这仅仅是我个人的经验。
So it's just
但是我非常清楚
based on
我
my
不是这方面学艺
experiences.
不精的，
I know that
但
I'm
是
not
又
very
特
good
别
at
地
it.
重视地学
I
啊。
didn't pay
现在
too
看来也
much
挺后
efforts
悔
in
的。
it. Now I'm
应该
actually
要好好
very
学，
regretted.
深入
I
地学。
should have learned much more
当
and
然
more
现在给 大家
in more
教授的
depth.
这个内容呢，是我
All
学
that
的
I've
相学之中的
shared
大
with
约其中一个
everyone
重要的部分。
is an
都
important
是全
part
部的，
of what
这
I
仅仅是代
learned
表着这
in
基本的健
physiognomy.
康
So
的那
this
些点。
are
这些点呢，
those basic
如果我们学会之后
points
呢，
that relates
大
to
约能
health.
看到
But
自
if
己和
you
他人的
learn it,
从
then
外
you'll
向上就
you
能
know
猜出有一些问题。
generally
但
speaking,
是
you would be
也有
able
一些
to
问题是
guess
我也
what the
看不见
problem
的
is,
啊，
but still
就
there are
是
still some
就
issues,
好像是
some
命运的安
problems
排
that
一样，
I
我谁也不
cannot
知道，
see. It's
有一
like
天突然莫名其
arranged
妙
by
就告诉你
fate.
自
It's
己
just
癌症晚
destined,
期，
and
都
you know
会有。
nobody
啊，
ever seen or know or
但是
ever
多数人
given
的
any
问题呢，
signs. Then all of a sudden
还
it's
是
the
能
last
够
stage
通
of
过检
cancer.
验下来
Most
才响
of
应的
the
啊。
issues
但
though
是
will
学
be
了5年还是比较
shown
方便。
from our facial reading or palm
也
reading.
特别感谢大家这个热情的来信，
And
要
I'm
反映自己的各种的问
very
题，
thankful
各种
to
各样的受
everyone
益啊。
who send
好
me
像
your messages and share your
雪珍已经
benefits.
准备好了
I
网
think
友的一
Joyce
些
and
问题
Christine has
啊。
already
好
prepared a lot
先
of
说一
questions.
说吧。
Okay,
嗯
just come on. So the first question is about Jianglong. So when he was only 5 or 6 years old, a cat scratched him, and so it was on the nasolabial fold. And even though it's not, you know, it's quite light, but still, if someone looks carefully, would still be able to see. So would it
抓过
affect?
因为养猫
Would
的
it
人
affect
哈，差
him?
不多人都被
So
这个
you
猫
know,
抓过，
anybody who
就
has
是
cat
但
might
愿没
have
有
been
留下
scratched
痕
by
迹，
by
但
the
凡是
cat.
留
I
下
hope
痕
that
迹
they
的就不
won't
太
have
好。
any
啊，
signs
就
left
如
or
像
any
刚才的
marks
照
left,
片那个样子的
because
话呢，
otherwise it's not good.
如果是
If
那样明显的
that
痕迹，就是抓了之
was
后，
like the picture that
如
we
果
showed
3个月
just
之后
now,
还有这样的痕迹
if
的
the
话呢，
sign is
这
that
也叫做
clear,
破相
it is actually
啊。 那
destroying your
从鼻
appearance,
翼
your
旁边
facial
一
appearance.
直到嘴角下的
So
这个纹，我们知
this
道它叫口
line
印纹。
from
那
the
这个
nose
猫
all
如
the
果
way
真挠到这
down
个位置，
to
留下像刚才照片
the
上那样
mouth,
的
we
纹的
call
话
it
呢，它就破
nasolabial
了你的这
folds.
个
And if
印象
there's
中的
a
痊愈，
line or a mark there, it
那是
actually
猫抓的，
destroyed your
就代表是
power
天
or
意。
authority, but it was
啊，
done
代
by
表
or
天意。
scratched by the
那
cat,
这
so
个
it
纹
actually
呢，是
represents
大
the
约
divine
产生
will.
在
And
了
so
这个纹大约，如果刚才如图片中那个位置的话，
if
在
that
嘴角附近的时候，
happened
大约在
like
60岁
in the
左右。
picture
你的某种
close
权利突
to
然
the
失去，
mouth, maybe at
被
around
破
60
掉。
years old, some
第
kind
二
of
个可能
authority
对
you will
肾脏
suddenly
和腰
lose,
有
and
点
it
伤
may
害。
also affect
对，所
your
以要注
kidney
意
and your
身
lower
体的
back.
这
So
个
you need
锻炼
to,
就是这
you
个意
know,
思。
you need to do more exercises and yeah. So thank you, Grandmaster. And another friend, Guo Shi, I want to ask. His face has a lot of those skin tags.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, it's not like maybe very small. It's not like a big
我
mole
记得有一种
or
说
a
法，
wart.
我忘记医生的原话怎么
So
说。
Grandmaster
大概
says,
这
I
个意思呢，
forgot
就是
what
说这个
there's a
人
saying. I
本
forgot
身
what
身
the
上容易
doctor
长瘤的那
what
一类。
he
是
exactly
有这
says.
样
So
的。
there are people
还有呢，
who
就是你看了
are
它是到了
more
皮肤
prone
表
to
面来
grow
的哈，
these tags
还有一
and
些
skin
瘤
tags.
哈
And
是在皮
so
肤之下
some
的。
there's some
就是
tumors
多发性
are
这
growing
个
above
肿
the
瘤
skin,
或肌
some
瘤 性
are
的瘤。
under the
那一
skin.
般这
So
种瘤呢，它不是癌症，
these
也不是
kind
恶性，
of
但是
tumors
呢，
are
这是让你
not
看的就是
cancer, and
不
it's
如说
not
没有长那个东西那么平滑的好看。
yeah. It probably is benign, but of course it's not as good as there's no tags at all. Yeah. So when we talk about health, if you don't have it, of course it's good. If you grow it, then it may indicate some unhealthy issues. So what exactly the health issue is, you need to check this diagram and see what that area corresponds to. That should be the system or the organ that might have some health issues. And therefore, according to basically the Chinese doctor theory, it's about a noxious dampness. So these kind of dampness, noxious dampness hasn't been released from or detoxified by the liver or through the liver, and because the skin has something to do with the lung meridian, and so these shapes have something to do with the kidney, and if you cannot detoxify, it is because of your liver is not functioning that well, so it actually affects a lot of things. So yeah, so it actually is similar to the ground. So in some places they grow a lot of soil, and some they have a lot of rocks, and so it's very complicated. So Buddha says it's all caused by merits or karma. So basically, good or bad karma. If you want to check the details, why they're grown, it may caused by your speech or your actions. So if you have these kind of skin tags, if you are more forgiving and tolerant and more compassionate and kinder and more compassionate, not just think about compassion, but actually put into action to compassionately help other people. Don't really care about the interest, and what is it to do with illnesses? How the earth and the universe was created. Actually, before the universe actually appeared, it was just like some chi, and it's just like before human beings are created, where are we? And you say, oh, in your dad's stomach, belly, or in your mom's bone? No, it's hard to say. So before you became a fetus, those elements, where are they? They might be around the world, or maybe in the air, or maybe in the sky, or maybe in the water, and then that eventually create those cells and genes, and then become a human being. So the illnesses actually comes from our mind. That's why I dare to say all of these. Well, I learned Buddha Dharma, so everything I will go back to what Buddha says. So one thought will be heaven, and one thought can be hell. And if a thought of compassion, the whole world is open and wide. If you have a thought of greed, then you won't be able to go long. So I hope everyone can be more forgiving. A lot of times, you always hurt the people who are close to you. Well, a lot of times when we learn Buddhism, you're really silly when you go back home. There's so many family members, so many people don't want to go home, but then they need to go home and sleep, and they need to go home and have food, and so they have to go home. And why there's so many people don't want to go back home? Because there's the pressure. Either this person will will blame him or scold him or, sarcastic, or the more siblings, the more troubles and the more, blaming. And if you don't make much money, or maybe some people might laugh at your work, and then you just feel some stress and pressure. And so when these pressure comes, usually they came to you by words, by speech, and then secondly, so through their eyes or their body language. And therefore, we're so ignorant, is that we always hurt. The person who we always hurt and fight with, there are two kinds. First is our family and our loved ones. And and the second kind is in your social relationship, your colleagues, your classmates, your friends. So who we always hurt is either our family or our social relationship, and those friends, and so but you cannot live without them. So when you go home, a lot of people they feel kind of frustrated. Some people, they go to school, maybe they don't want to go to school because somebody will bully them. If someone who will always go to school and be bullied, they think, oh, that's the school, and so they don't want to go to school. If in your workplace you're always, wronged, or you are always misunderstood, then you don't want to go there either. And so these two categories, these two groups actually have the closer relationship with you. You really need to be kinder to them. It's not like to the other extreme. If you're too attached to them. When you're too attached to them, when these people suddenly have something happen, then you won't be able to let go. Then that will cause suffering too. So you need to learn to deal with these two groups in a good way, and then we will be able to find health and happiness, and we will be less likely to get sick. And so so these kind of illnesses, I'm always worried. It's because of these emotions. A lot of times they hurt others, but at the same time they are hurting themselves because other people are giving them pressure. You cannot release these pressures, then they come out through your skin. And so a lot of tumors are caused by this. Maybe it's just anger, it didn't release. I really understand this. I've met a lot of people with these illnesses, and sometimes I would guide them to be happy and practice energy bagua and giving more and do some good deeds. Well, actually, the illness is just some qi, and when he's completely see-through and don't get angry about it, and then the tumor just disappeared. But when they suddenly, get irritated again and get really, really annoyed, and then there used to be no tumor, but suddenly the tumor appeared. So it's always like that. If you're always in good mood, the tumor is nothing. And when you're in bad mood, then there could be a lot of visible things physically appear. So whoever comes to learn from me, I hope you will become more compassionate and kinder. And so if you're compassionate to others, then you are the one who benefit most. Well, maybe I talk too much, but this is really very important. And Tina asked, some people do those plastic surgery on the face. Would it hurt our vital energy? And would it also harm our internal energy? And would it affect our fate?
这个一般性美容手术哈
Just a normal plastic surgery will most likely will not affect our vital energy. But for if they try to take away some fat on the belly or the thighs or or if they're doing like a breast implant, or if they want to make their nose higher, they need to cut on the upper palate, and so they'll try to they have to have an opening to and then they can implant some plastic things into the nose, and so that the nose can look taller. And then they will also use some silicone and then they to make the nose into a good shape. A lot of the nose, they are so tall, you can immediately see that they are like fake or they're after surgeries. These will definitely affect vital energy. If it is not a successful surgery, they could even completely damage the facial appearance, and it could be a huge burden on you because you cannot bump, because otherwise the nose might fall off, and you have to hold your nose, and so uncomfortable. And there are other surgeries on the body also can cause a lot of burden. It's not like a bag you're carrying, because you can throw away the bag, but if there's something implanted in your body, you cannot get rid of it or just unload these burdens, and you need a lot of maintenance before you had the surgery. Maybe you only need like dozens of dollars, just need to buy some facial mask or facial creams, and maximum like that. The expense won't be huge, but if you do a big plastic surgery or other implants, then you definitely have to spend a lot more, because after the surgery you never know what can bring after the surgery, what can happen after the surgery. There was a film star, she actually had the skin very whitened, and then and also the nose was also heightened. And but one day the nose fall down maybe 5 milliliters, and then they have to spend a lot of money again to pull it up, and they have to spend like millions of dollars. But normal people cannot afford to that. Expensive is one thing, and troubles, a lot of troubles. That's really troublesome. Sometimes you dare not even cough, and let alone when they have unsuccessful surgery. It's not like a laser removal of the moles. Maybe doing a laser surgery to remove the mole, maybe after months you won't see it at all. But if you use the knife, it's risky. You might hurt your body. And whenever they need to use a knife, in the physiognomy, it's a bloody disaster. So what will a bloody disaster cause? We never know. So use every time use a knife. It's not like shaving your hair. If you have to use the knife to do a surgery, then this is called a bloody disaster. So an online friend, and his online name is like a furnace, a very proper name. And he or she said, oh, from 10 years old, she started to grow a lot of marks on the nose, and also she started to grow those marks on the temples, and she always fight with her husband and always is very bossy and always want everything to be done in her own way, and he couldn't help it. He couldn't control herself, and she want to change. She knows it's not good, and so she wished Master would bless her how to release and how to reduce all these fires. Now she's learning these. She know that these marks are all caused by the fire in the liver, and when the fire in the liver is too fierce. First kind is they're born with it. Say, for example, their hair and their eyebrows are very thick and very hard and very strong, very thick and very hard, and so they're very they have very bad temper. Yeah, even after they have released some fire, they still have bigger temper. And every day they would drink some, fire-releasing tea, but still they still have a very short temper. So this is their personality. It has nothing to do with has nothing to do with the fire in their liver. The second kind, Joyce, you tell us. So it's not from birth, so it's like they maybe get some fire, or maybe it's menopause, or yeah, it sounds like something external caused it, but it's not from birth, but it's from their maybe emotions. Or a lot of our Bodhi students before, at the beginning when they come to learn from Grandmaster, they have these issues, and after they learn, they got much better. So the second kind, Grandmaster says, is that they got too much heat or too much fire, so they need to adjust their diet. Maybe before they eat a lot of fried chicken, fried donuts, or fried something. In Tianjin, Beijing, and Hebei, they have a lot of deep fried brown sugar like donuts. In the past, it was very cold and people are doing a lot of labor. That's why this kind of food are usually for the Chinese New Year, because it was very cold and they need heat. But if you eat more, it's found that your eyes getting blurry, and then your mouth and your face will have a lot of acne because there's too much fire, so you need to release those fire. So Joyce, you see, when they eat those deep fried donuts, then what do they usually drink with it or eat with it? So they would have, so Joyce said they would usually drink soy drink. They would also use chopsticks. And finger. And maybe hawthorn. Yeah, hawthorn with these deep fried food is also good. In the North China, there's a kind of soup, a stew that is actually very good. Tofu with the Chinese cabbage. It's not very cold. It's not, and also congee. You put rice and half rice, half Mongol beans, and this congee will immediately help you to calm down, and the fire is like at least halfly distinguished. And if you eat another bowl of congee, with the mango bean, then it actually helps you to helps you to completely distinguish your fire. So because the mango bean has a very strong cooling energy. So yesterday we talked about a young man who has a lot of agony. Would that mango bean soup also help? Yeah, because the mango bean, coconut is cooling, but coconut drink has some sugar. Yeah, the mango bean congee or the mango bean soup is actually without sugar. You may and also put a little bit of salt in the water to wash your face. It actually helps to remove some agonies. And this online friend is not. It's not just occasionally have a lot of fire. So this is like her fate. So she's born with a lot of fire. So she needs to eat a lot of. She needs to eat less dry food. So she needs to eat more food with cooling energy to nourish her lungs. Any food that's cooling and nourishing lungs would help. Yeah, even if you just want to be beautiful, because otherwise it grows so many marks on the face, right? So, and just to be beautiful, you want to change your diet. If your personality seems to have a lot of fire, would it be able to change? Yes, absolutely, definitely. But how? So Christine said, well, every day, especially for supper, definitely you need some food that will have the cooling energy, like cucumber or bitter gourd or other melons. Well, any, yeah. So you could actually just whatever you choose, any kind of food that is cooling and nourishing the lungs. There's a kind of Chinese ready-made medicine called Guilin Gao, and the Cantonese people, they have those cooling tea. It's very powerful. At the time when I just went to Guangzhou, in Guangzhou, they're very well developed, and yeah, on the street they have those, every glass of those cooling tea. It's about like 10 cents. Yeah. Almost everybody would go and buy a glass of that tea because they couldn't bear it. They like those bitter tea to reduce their heat. Cantonese people, they know they need to reduce their heat, but northern Chinese people, northeast Chinese people, they don't know that they need to reduce their heat and fire. And so a lot of northeastern people, when they invite people for dinner, they would have deep fried fish and deep fried meat, and then they would drink alcohol, and then it's like burning all the time, and then a lot of fire cannot release. But of course, in North China, it's colder, but we need to learn all these regimen, and the energy need to balance. Yeah, any food that is heating up, you need to balance with some cooling food. So cooling food including bitter gourd and cucumber and celery and pears and mango beans and lotus seed. And Da Huang is a kind of Chinese medicine. And Yao. And also a watermelon, yes. vitamin Anyways, so we need to have a balanced energy in our diet. And so in all these food that we eat, we have two kinds of food. The one kind is for heating up energy, the other is cooling down. And so when we feel very frustrated and grow a lot of agonies, or maybe eyes are red and lips are very dry and hair very dry and the skin is not moisturized. These are all caused by too much heat and fire, so you need some cooling food. And ladies, there's something that you definitely need to eat. That's what they call the white fungus, or the so this is actually at least once a week, or you call tremella. It's beautifying our skin and also nourishing our yin, and also so these tremella, red date, goji, and also the sugar cubes, and chrysanthemum, and so 2 hours, And maybe if you want to put the lotus seed in there, you need to soak the lotus seed overnight. So the sweetness comes from that rock candy, the rock sugar, And then after you boil it, then you turn into mild heat and then cook for like 2 hours. And so this is not just releasing the heat, but also it's nourishing. And so this sister, the lady, she has a lot of marks and a lot of freckles and also very short temper. After drinking these will definitely help to be better. And also she needs to intentionally manage her emotions. The people who are always like to scold other people. They always scold people around them, right? Because if you scold people from far away in another village, they won't be able to hear, right? And also it's because you're too arrogant, or you think, oh, I have a lot of financial power, so you can't do anything about me, right? Those people, so these kind of arrogance also need to be change, because otherwise you're not compassionate. You're always Some people look very gentle, but they are like robbers, and you need to change your mindset. Otherwise, you won't have harmony and happiness in your family. You are very happy when you scold others. What would your husband feel? What would your children feel? So you need to change in your mind. Put down your knife and become a Buddha right away and instantly. You need to distinguish all the fire in your liver. Okay, that's all for this question. Thank you, Grandmaster. And Xiao Lu asked, on his forehead, maybe one day there will be a round dent, another day there will be a very long dent, and so why is that? When you hear this, you think, oh, life is so amazing, like there are all kinds of things can happen in our lives, but these are very rarely happens. Well, generally speaking, I don't know. But if we think about it, maybe your constitution is like more prone to grow scars, and also you have very serious bacteria in your body, because all these dents and scars are caused by bacteria. If you do a blood test, you might be able to find out. The third reason might be because your lung is not very healthy, especially if
这个小东西叫啥？在那个农泥巴田螺，对，田螺。
There's
那个里头全是寄生虫。
There's a kind of food. There are lots of parasites in it. It's called escargots. Or you call it field snail. They have a lot of parasites in it. In South China or Southeast Asia, they have a lot of people who have hepatitis. Actually, a lot of them are caused by eating these field snails. So should you eat them or stop eating them? Yeah, in a lot of subtropical areas, people eat a lot of these and then they got hepatitis. And let me tell you another disgusting secret. You think that these are cooked, right? But the restaurant owner, sometimes they want to cook it very fast. Maybe, say, for example, cook the tremella soup, you need 2 hours. But how can they wait for 2 hours? Everybody comes to a restaurant. Longest wait should be about 10 minutes. And if you go to a McDonald's restaurant, you have to get the food right away. And if you wait 2.5 hours, you might want to smash the restaurant. So how long would they cook? So say, for example, the escargot, if they need to cook for, say, for example, 40 minutes, but you can't wait for so long, right? So maybe they don't even wash. So in addition to the bacteria in the field snail, but also some other parasites. Yeah, so this is the shell, right? The snail inside it hasn't been cooked. And so these snail go to your body, and wherever they're going, they're probably going to hurt you. And so whoever eats that field snail, if you didn't get hepatitis, it's already very good. And even if you haven't got hepatitis, you might have other illnesses because of these parasites. And so when you go out to order food from restaurant, it's not like cooking by yourself. At home, of course, you clean and wash very well, and you cook for a certain period of time. You definitely make sure you cook that long. And so sometimes if you cook outside, it could cause some problems. And so his skin issue could be caused by this second scenario, and otherwise a normal people, this will not happen. So this is what I know. Yeah. So thank you, Grandmaster. And quite a lot of our online friends also shared a lot of benefits. Up till now, they've already taken this the whole chanting class. And one friend said, "Hello, Master. Thank you, Master. The skin on my hands and forearms are brighter." And yeah. So thank you. Thank you, Master. Today is only the 5th day of the chanting class, and the effect is already obvious. After the Lunar New Year, many grain-sized red rashes showed on both of my hands and forearms for no reason. It's extremely itchy, so I scratched it. My skin was bloody from scratching. Now, it all disappeared. My skin is beautiful again. Thank you, Grandmaster. Thank you for the chanting class. Oh, wonderful, Grandmaster said. Even the arms are changed. Yeah, all those red rashes disappeared. Oh, this is really good. Truly good. Think about it, whether it's on your arm or your facial skin. If your face is just normal without glowing, and if another person is glowing, so when you look at these two people, who do you think will be healthier? Of course, the one who's glowing is healthier. And when you see that she's or he is glowing, you think that he is full of energy. And so when after you chant, yeah, your body seems to be brighter, your skin is brighter. This is very, very auspicious. When the skin is glowing, it shows a lot of vitality, and all these illnesses and gloomy energy is completely throwing away, like smash away. And so a lot of these red rashes most likely are caused by the lungs. Yeah, so this is health. So not only they can obtain health, they will also get beauty and good fortune. Because in the past, when I learned physiognomy, the masters usually say, those people who have good fortune, look at them. Their yin tang is very bright and glowing. Yin tang is the place where it's in between their eyebrows on the forehead, and they will say their nose tip is bright. And when we enter a house in the living room, when it's very bright and wide, then this is very auspicious and good fortune. And so so it's a bright living room. So our nose is a bulging area on the face. If it is very bright and bulging, it means good fortune, health, and good fortune. If the two eyes are also very bright, then it's really good fortune. So after our cultivation, our body becomes brighter. Congratulations. And if you also learn the meditation of greater illumination from me, your whole body is illuminated. Compassion is shining on the whole body. That's great illumination and great auspiciousness. Congratulations, Ling. Okay, thank you. I'll give you this beautiful bracelet. Sunlight Bodhisattva's gem. Sunlight Bodhisattva gem bracelet. Any other sharings? Xiaojing, yes. She said that's her aunt. After my sister-in-law practiced a month of energy bagua, she came to share good news with me. Previously, her forehead was bowed from hair loss. Now, thick and dark hair is growing back. The 8 spots on her hands also disappeared. She has now practiced energy bagua for 3 years. Thank you, Grandmaster, for sharing energy bagua with us. It's so miraculous. Yeah, so the age spot has already disappeared. So she must be, or her sister-in-law must be over 55 years old. Yeah, and hair loss is growing back. Yeah. Yesterday, I also shared with you long time ago in Guangzhou, a lady who was 70 years old. She had a lot of marks on the face and the 2 arms. After 2 years, only a short period of time, all the marks disappeared. But after 2 years, a 70-year-old, she grew new teeth, and she went to see the dentist, and dentist said, "Oh, congratulations, it's because you have such good vital energy." And all the age spot disappeared. And she said, "Yes. What did you do? Did you do laser surgery?" She said, "No, I just practiced." So internally, when we're healthy, and all these marks on our skin will also disappear. This is so healthy, and so she'll definitely live long. Should we give a present? Should we give the present to her sister-in-law or her? Oh, so yes, okay. Because Xiaojing was sharing, and her sister-in-law also had a lot of benefit and shared. So this very beautiful bracelet is for her for her sister-in-law. And this is for Xiaojing. So both of them will be beautiful and live long. And next would be Shou Li. After practicing with Grandmaster, the dark spots on my nose disappeared. The corns on my feet also disappeared. My hands are also more plump. Oh, my feet and my palms are also more plump. And so the 5 eminences are also bulging up. Oh, yeah, that's very good. So if you can share the comparison of your pictures before and after, it would be even better. So what does it mean by, the dark spot disappeared? So just compare with that diagram. Think about, the heart and brain and, stomach and spleen are on your nose. And so when the mark disappeared, then you're healthy now. So a lot of the illnesses actually are caused by the digestive system. Even cancer has something to do with digestive system or have something to do with emotions. So when the dark mark on the nose disappears, it's a very good sign. You will be healthy and live long. And also the calluses on the calluses and corns disappear. The corns have a lot of root. And so if that disappears, the corns are like a carrot, or they have the root. Or the turnips, they have roots. Yeah. When I was young, there was someone who was specialized in curing the corns. And do you know, if you have a corn, when you walk, it would be so painful, right? And so when he pulled out the corn, and so he said, 1 root will be $5 or 5 RMB. Usually people will say, sure, yeah, because 1 root is only 5 yuan. And so usually there will be more than 1 root. And 1 corn sometimes can have over 10 roots. So he would just apply some medicine or some creams there, and then he will be able to pull out the root. And then there will be a hole in your foot. And then after several days, it will grow back and better. But if you go to the hospital, and they have to dig a very big hole, and whether the root is completely out, it's hard to tell. And the corn is very hard to cure, and sometimes corns can grow even on their hands, and not only on the feet but also can grow on the hand, and so it's very troublesome. And even the corn disappear. She doesn't even need to pay that 5 yuan. Well, yeah. So what does that mean? And also her palms and her feet are also becoming more plump. Of course, that means more good fortune. And also the 5 eminences are bulging up. So that means a lot of good fortune and prosperity. Congratulations. I'll give you a prize. A gift. I'll give you this bracelet. So I like to remind our online friends, if you have any good testimonials, then please share with us. Then you should you can share with us. We will show you this link. Yeah, so this is the form that we can testimonial survey. Yeah. And Jenny said, hello, Grandmaster. In the last 1 or 2 years, somehow a horizontal wrinkle showed up in the middle of the nose bridge. I was worried about it. But as I follow Grandmaster's practices, the horizontal line disappeared. Oh, that's very good. It was on the middle of the in the middle of the nose bridge. So that's the liver area, right? So so if there's a horizontal line there, it must mean that the liver has some problem and even can cause a gallbladder problem. So the liver, energy in the liver is stuck there, is blocked. And so maybe before the liver can cause maybe a certain amount of blood, now can only create half of the blood. And the liver used to be working 24 hours, and now is only maybe half of the time. It's just like an old machine. Now it's out of order, and so they produce less, and your body is less productive and less healthy, and you feel very uncomfortable. That's because your liver is not healthy, especially on the liver area has some lines. It's actually the energy in the liver is stuck and blocked. And after your cultivation and practice, this line disappeared. Yeah. So sometimes this line is like a wrinkle, and sometimes this line is like a bluish blood vessel, and sometimes it's like somebody draw a line there. It could be a horizontal one or a vertical one, or just a slanting one, or maybe a cross. When you look very carefully, you will see all kinds of these lines. It could be different color or different patterns, and it could indicate different kinds of health issues. And so congratulations, Jenny. When this horizontal line disappeared, when you describe the lines, I hope you will describe it in more detail. Whether better to take a picture, yes. Whether it is a wrinkle kind of line or it's a bluish blood vessel. So same, I will gift you this Sunlight Bodhisattva gemstone bracelet. Wish you auspiciousness and wish fulfillment. Thank you, Grandmaster. And another online friend, Xiaode, said, I have a birthmark, a dark skin patch on my left cheek and entire left side of the nose. It was very obvious. I started to practice prostration starting from 2016, and I have never missed Grandmaster's live stream. I followed Master's live stream and also started to walk energy bagua this year. The dark spot on my face has almost disappeared. It's very faint now. My face is also brighter. Before, my face with a darkish gray color. But my kidney has been weak since childhood. Now I don't have any lower back pain. Thank you, Grandmaster. It's really very happy for this person. Yeah. So something that he, say for example, he came with from birth, and a lot of birthmark. They cannot. It's coming from birth, so they don't know what to do. But after some practice, these marks completely disappeared. So just imagine what their health has been improved. Like, it's a transformation, right? Yeah, before let's say she had a weak kidney now, because the weak kidney can cause lower back pain and a lot of other issues. But now she doesn't have any back pain anymore, lower back pain anymore, and her face is also bright now. Yeah. So I wish you health and longevity and happiness. Next is Xiao Zhu. She said, hello, Master. I've been following Grandmaster's online live stream since the pandemic started. Not only did I understand how to be a better person, I also became healthier through walking energy bagua. Now my face complexion is rosy, my skin is bright. And I'm happy. My children say that I look younger and have better temper too. Thank you, Grandmaster. Master has been talking about moles and these dark spots on the face. And recently, I found many bright red dots on my body. On my upper right arm and chest and belly button, some, very bright red and glowing red dots. So are they merit cinnabars? Can you talk about these red dots? So Grandmaster, a lot of our online friends, after they practice, after they follow Grandmaster, the teachings and practice, they grow a lot of the merit cinnabars on their bellies, on their arms, on their hands. And so this new online friend, Xiao Zhu, she hasn't been following Grandmaster for a long time, and she already noticed some red, bright dots. Yeah, I think I just see the picture. They are merit cinnabars. Yes. Yeah. So, Grandmaster, could you talk about merit cinnabars before when we talk about facial appearance? The red ones are always good. So, why is it good, or what is good? So, Grandmaster said on many different parts of our body, some people they have a very bright, glowing red dot, a little bit bulging, but it's very red. It's not dark. Maybe you think it's blood, but blood after some time it becomes dark red. Those merit cinnamars, they don't change colors. They will always maintain the bright red color and very bright. And so these are called merit cinnamars. And if you grow merit cinnamars at any part of your body, this is a good fortune. Why do we call them merit cinnamars? Because in this life or in your previous life, or maybe your parents or your children have done some merits for you, maybe saved some people or made offerings to Buddha, made offerings to Master, and they have some big merits, and therefore you can grow these merit cinnamars. People who have merit cinnamars at very critical time, they will be protected by the divine. And and when you need to make a major decision, maybe find a partner or find a job, or if you have some unpleasant things you need to make a choice, and those people with merit cinnamars, the deities or Buddhas, bodhisattvas will give you inspirations, as if Buddha has put a mark there. It is like an auspicious mark left by Buddha and placed by Buddha. So this merit seminar is also like the top of the incense. That's a lit incense. When it's on the arm, then if it grows on the arm, it means your children are good. If it's on the right arm, your daughter is good. If it is on the left arm, your son or your grandson will be good. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Grandmaster. And another friend has also a question. So on his left cheek, there's a brown mole, but above the brown mole, there's a red mole. Does that mean the bad cause has? So it used to be a brown mole on the left cheek, but above the brown mole, now he has a red mole.
我不要乱说，
I don't
最好
want
拍个照给
to,
我看。
yeah, I want to make any mistakes.
如果不
Better
拍照，
send
因为
me
有
a
时候
picture.
这个吉祥痣或者
Sometimes,
是一种恶性病，
whether it
啊，
is an
有一种恶
auspicious
性病也是红色的，还不一
cinnabar,
样。我为什么想讲功德
or
朱砂
it
讲那么
is
详细呢？对，
Eve-
不要以为红
it
色都
is
是好的。
don't think the red
所以的
marks
话
or
要
the
发
red
照片
moles
我
are
看。
good. Sometimes some critical illnesses, they can also have a red dot. So it depends. So just send me the
先不
picture.
给礼物，
I'd better
我的
not
礼物也不
give
盲目给哈。对，我要
give
确定你
him
的
the
问题，
gift. I
再给
need
礼
to
物。
find out your question. Yeah.
接下来是否是我们的温哥华的滕娟师姐
So
给我们带来
next
的一个分
is
享。这个
Sister
课呀
Teng
刚才
Juan
说
from
很喜欢
Vancouver.
做
She
功德
her
是给家人
sharing is
最好
so
的礼物。
joyous,
给家人
and
带
she
来的
said,
礼物。
doing merits is the best gift for family members. She said, Dear Master, my name is Tinja from Vancouver. I benefit greatly from coming to Bodhi meditation and learning from Grandmaster. Not only did I gain health and happiness, I also understand the connection between merits and fate. In these 5 years, I've made year-long light offerings, and I never missed any opportunity of making sponsorship, offering, or accumulating merits. About 4 years ago, when my son was commuting home, he was rear-ended on the highway by a speeding car. His car was totaled. It was a total loss. When I heard the news, I was extremely distressed and had to calm down before I even asked about my son's condition. Surprisingly, my son said he was not scratched at all, like he was completely fine. And well, in order to make sure I didn't want to put anything to chance, so I asked my son to have a complete physical examination at the hospital. Indeed, he was not hurt at all. I was so grateful. I knelt in front of the Buddha and Bodhisattva and koto continuous. Thank you, Buddha. Thank you, Bodhisattva, for protecting my son and transforming a calamity into auspiciousness. Yeah, on the highway, a rear-end accident, and the car was a total loss. Wow, this is such a protection from Buddha's Bodhisattvas. And another thing, when my grandson was only 5 months old, my daughter-in-law held him in her arms and washed his face. My grandson moved in her arms and fell from the height of like a person's height and hitting his head on the ceramic flooring. Yeah, so we were all frightened and went to the emergency right away. The doctor didn't find anything other than a small bump on the side of the forehead. Yeah, that's just nothing, right? Yeah. Yeah. Wow, a 5-year-old baby, of course, that's everybody's baby. And the doctor said it was a miracle. Yeah. There's so many, even adults even bumped on the ceramic floor and even killed themselves. But this little baby and fell from so high and hitting the head on ceramic floor and didn't have any hurt. So yeah, the power of merits can minimize the calamity at a critical moment until it disappeared. Last year, I sponsored Guru Rinpoche's heart mantra in my son's name. Shortly after, my son surprisingly received a 12% wage increase. Usually, an annual wage increase is only about 2%. Furthermore, it was during the pandemic. Many companies are downsizing. Many people are scrambling to save their job, but my son not only received a great wage increase, but also a generous annual bonus. Wow, double the bonus. Yeah, it's an annual bonus plus the 12% wage increase. Yeah, so yeah, and this actually educated her son, and so her son understood this is a protection from Buddha. So later, when the sponsorship for the Earth Store Bodhisattva started, my son sponsored it himself. Yeah, so this is the power of education. And so Buddha's Bodhisattva always support these people. He was promoted again at the beginning of this year. Yeah, last year he got increase in wage, and now he was promoted, and he became the youngest mid-level manager in the company. You know, in large companies in China, they're usually dominated by Caucasians. An Asian not only need to work hard, but also have luck to get promoted. And don't forget that this is in pandemic, and the company is largely downsizing. But however, her son not only got the wage increase, but also get promoted into a manager. This is very rare. And in the company with most of the managers are Caucasians, and he is Chinese being promoted, and it's not very often. Yeah. Furthermore, when my daughter-in-law was pregnant with her second child, the doctor said that the baby was in an unusual position, so the baby's head was upwards. Because it was 8 months into the pregnancy, it's difficult to adjust, and the doctor told us to get prepared for a cesarean. So luckily, one day I met Grandmaster at the Vancouver Center, Bodhi Meditation Center. When Grandmaster heard my situation, he immediately gave an energy blessing. Even though my daughter-in-law wasn't with me, so Grandmaster was doing the energy blessing on the mother-in-law, not the daughter-in-law. But when the daughter-in-law went to have the checkup, the baby was in the ideal position. Isn't it miraculous? Oh, Master, yes. Was doing the energy blessing on the mother-in-law, and then the daughter-in-law received the blessings. Well, Grandmaster said the baby is really lucky. Yeah, he can just turn to the back. Yeah, it was the head upwards, and then the head was downwards. And so her daughter-in-law very successfully and easily gave birth to an adorable baby girl. And so Teng Juan said, "Oh, our family of 4 generations has always been blessed by Buddha, and the elders are healthy and peaceful. My daughter was accepted by her dream university too. There's so many auspicious and fortunate events. Every time I think about it, I'm deeply grateful to Grandmaster. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to change our fate. Thank you, Buddha, Bodhisattva. Thank you, Grandmaster." Congratulations, Sister Teng Juan. This is really Buddha light shine upon all. So many things, so auspicious. We all know Sister Teng Juan, and every year she always make offerings, light offering, any kind of, merit opportunities, and she do the merits for the whole family. And so 4 generations, all are very well protected and blessed. So when Grandmaster says, when Buddha and Bodhisattva want you to be healthy and prosperous and live long, it would be very easy. I'll give you this incense burner, which Teng Juan, they have very prosperous and healthy and always be protected and blessed by Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So next is Victoria, and she said, to sponsor Guru Rinpoche's heart mantra, help to save that. My father had diabetes, and his condition was all right before, but a relative frequently tried to sell a health care product to my father. My father didn't like medicines, and because of, it is a relative, he bought a lot of these health products. He didn't want to waste them, so he only took the health product and stopped taking the actual medicine. In the end, his glucose level lost control. On January the 12th, 2021, my father fell into a coma, and his eyes were not responsive to light. He had diabetic ketoacidosis. It's a complication of diabetes, a very acute complication, and his life was in danger. He was immediately sent to the intensive care unit. My father's brothers, his niece, his nephews all went to the hospital. My father was 90 years old. Everybody thought this was it. So they went to the hospital to see him for the last time. I was in Vancouver. It was 7:18 p.m. when I received the call, and my mind went blank. It was like, whoa. It was just, I was horrified. In January 2021, the pandemic has continued into a year. Grandmaster JinBodhi compassionately made a sponsorship, offered us a sponsorship opportunity available to everyone around the world. The sponsorship of Guru Rinpoche's heart mantra, which was to ward off the evil and eliminates disasters. Each sponsorship only cost $360. When I heard the news, I was going to make a sponsorship for everyone in the family, including my father, but because I was busy at work, I just procrastinated. On the evening of January the 12th, when I received the phone call, I was extremely regretful. I hated myself for not making the sponsorship earlier. Grandmaster and the teachers always reminded us compassionately to make merits earlier and benefit from it earlier. Why didn't I listen? I ran to the computer and opened Yushu Home website with shaking hands. My heart was pounding. It's a race against time. It's a competition against death. I must save my father. The more worried I am, the shakier my hands are. There were many typos, and it took a long time before I made the sponsorship of Guru Rinpoche's heart mantra for my father. When I scrolled down the webpage, I saw there's also the annual individual sponsorship, the VIP sponsorship. This will sponsor Grandmaster's online live stream sessions. So I also made this sponsorship for my father. I finally relaxed after making all the sponsorships. Then I look at my phone for messages from China. At 9:44 p.m., a message came. My father's vital signs are getting stable. Tears rushed out. I knelt in front of Grandmaster's picture and couldn't speak a word. Thank you, Grandmaster. Thank you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to save lives. Our gratitude is beyond words. Yeah. How much would your life worth, and how much would it cost for us to do the sponsorship? And also this sister reminded us to do the sponsorship earlier. Do not wait. Do not wait until the crisis arrives. Sometimes it would be too late. Yeah, and the merits are actually like an insurance. Sometimes you are saving. It's like a saving. You need to save the energy. And we learn about the physiognomy. A lot of the appearance on the face, it's all because of energy. When Buddhas are blessing us, and they think that you are good. Maybe you are already 30 years old. You are very good. And Buddhas and Bodhisattvas care about you. If you live another 90 years, it's just so easy. So you are filled with very auspicious life energy. Any of the unpleasant things happened is because it can cause like illnesses or, pass away earlier. And in addition to those major frustration, it's all because of lack of energy. So we really need Buddha's blessings. and Buddha's protection. We need Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to protect us, so everything will be smooth and auspicious. So that's about it. Shall we? Oh, shall we give Victoria a gift and her father? And this is for her father. What is this chanting bead? This is sandalwood, or with those golden stars. This chanting beads to wish him health and longevity. And for Victoria, I'll give her this red glazed glass necklace. Wish everything auspicious and happy for your whole family. Thank you, Grandmaster. Do you have an impression? Sister Song Jue from Singapore, she has 3 children, and all 3 are very adorable. And when we were talking about, the sleep paralysis, and she mentioned about that she had some, not so good dreams, and it was her aunt who came to her dreams, and also her second daughter was able to see some, lives from the other world. And do you have that impression? Yes. And so Song Jue sent us the newest testimonial, and it's quite touching too. And so allow me to share with you. So previously, I have shared with Grandmaster that my youngest daughter has many invisible friends. Some are human, some are animals. After Master's guidance, I understand these spirits are harmful to her vital energy and damage her health and mind. Thanks to Master, I was able to bring home a blessed gilt bronze statue of Guru Rinpoche from the Cibei online store. Then, one day, my daughter, when I was unpacked this statue, and my daughter said, "Oh, this will help me to not to see those invisible friends anymore." Yeah. And actually, that was what this little girl told me. What she told me. And I said, "Why do you say that?" She said, "Oh, because this is Buddha's eyes. This is Master's eyes. This is not a ghost eye." And so even this little girl, she knows. And then her friends never came to play with her anymore, those invisible friends, and she doesn't want to play with them anymore. I'm so sincerely grateful for Grandmaster's great blessings to help us to remove these disasters. And thank you, Grandmaster. Oh, congratulations, Sister Song Jue, for all the auspiciousness. Guru Rinpoche's Dharma power protect your whole family to make offerings and worship Guru Rinpoche. Actually, Guru Rinpoche, and I'm actually the Dharma, I'm actually passing down his Dharma teachings. When I worshipped him before, I was the successor. It's almost like I'm the successor for Guru Rinpoche. And so when we worship Guru Rinpoche, even if you have like 10,000 acres of field, then the whole field would be protected and covered with light. And if there had been any unpleasant things happened instantly after the worship, then the whole land would be auspicious. And when Guru Rinpoche came to Tibet, there used to be a lot of evil spirits, and they had all been conquered and defeated by Guru Rinpoche. And Guru Rinpoche said, "I welcome all these challenges." And so some owners of Dharma schools, they actually when they compete with Guru Rinpoche, they actually was defeated and was spitting out food on the floor, and then they bow in front of him and kneel down in front of him to take refuge in him. And so, any spirits in the heaven, on earth, and in hell, they are all conquered by his Dhamma pole. And so wherever he is, all the evil spirits will have to fled away. They would be so frightened and never be able to harm or get close. And so when we worship his statue, we will be protected, and we will have a very strong protection from him. And so to ward off the evil, and the whole household will be protected and be safe. So anybody who has nightmares or sleep paralysis, or if there are some unpleasant things, lots of unauspicious things, then this is a very good way to protect us. And actually, these Guru Rinpoche's statue, you can actually worship in even your garage or bedrooms or study room, or many different rooms. So these statues from the Tantric Dharma school. And also, this statue, a lot of people really love them. They really want to invite them to home. But some people say because financially it is hard for them to afford these statues, or to do the sponsorship. Is there any other way for them to to make merits, and so that we can also receive prosperity in the future? I don't want to say just beautiful words. I want to talk about my mother. In my family used to be very poor when I was a teenager. We were very poor. My family was very poor. Occasionally, there will be people coming to my family to beg for food. In that area, there were natural disasters, and there were no gain from the whole year's planting. And so a lot of people go around to beg for food, and they are really need food. And my family was already very poor, and they came to the city, and they have to do a lot of hard labor. And even so, when people beg for food, they will invite them to come and live home, and our neighbors would laugh at them and say, "Oh, aren't you feel disgusting? These people, they probably haven't taken a bath or shower for like months, and then they might have a lot of, they're so dirty, and maybe there are worms on their body, and just give them some food and just send them away." But my mother always say, as long as they have the courage to knock at your door and beg for food, they must have already gathered so much courage. They must have felt very ashamed. It's very hard. I totally understand them. So we will definitely help them. And so a lot of times she would put a lot of steam buns and other food for them, and also give them some, clothes to them, winter coats. I remember, so Joy said, I still remember, Grandmaster, you said in the cold days, Grandmaster, your mother, take out 3 winter coats. She gave all 3 winter coats to them. For my mother, Grandmaster said, it's very natural. It's not just once. many times, and my neighbors always laugh at them. Well, as a child, we always think whatever my mom does is right, even though we were not rich, but when people come to beg for food, they need even more. So what is poverty? What is wealth? When we really have a natural disaster, we really have no food. This is really poverty. But a lot of poor people in the future will be very wealthy. Today, they may be a slave. Tomorrow, they may be a general. Today, maybe they're a beggar, but in the future, they will be an emperor. And so there are so many people today, they are in a very hard situation. In the future, they will develop very well. So you need to have a big heart. So Christine want to say, so what kind of poor people can still have the opportunity to become a rich person? They're just like my mother. Well, even though right now not very wealthy, but still want to help others. Yeah, so a lot of these pictures, maybe they are not very cheap, but but still they will bring you a lot of blessings. Remember the poor lady who offered the oil lamp? But she offered the oil lamp, and that lamp, even big storms cannot distinguish the fire. And if you have a lot of money and you only offer like very small, like 2 small lamps, maybe in their future life they will be very poor. Someone like my mother and that poor lady who offered to put everything to offer 1 lamp, in the future they will become extremely wealthy. Maybe they will be born in an emperor's family or in a millionaire's family, and because they're always giving. And the deities look at this person. Wow, today they are so in such a hardship, but they're still helping others. Such a heart with such a rich heart, and such a rich soul. And we're always reincarnating. After this life, immediately, instantly, this person will be the king in the the richest heaven, to be a king or the god of wealth. So a lot of god of wealth, they in one of their previous life, they used to be very poor, but they are still giving. We mentioned in New York, there was a beggar who was on the street, and the lady gave him some present, gave him some money, and she left the diamond ring with him. But this person didn't hide the diamond ring. He tried every way to find the owner. And he said, "Oh, you forgot this here." He didn't hide the ring. However, later, the lady who lost the diamond ring, shared this story on Twitter. And she said, I want to establish an account. Everybody wants to donate him, and so that we can give him a job. And later, with everybody's help, there were like hundreds of thousands of dollars donated to this account, and he became a business owner, and he had a house and he had car, and that's just the beginning of his wealth, and he would be even wealthier. So those truly wealthy person, they have that spirit of wealth. And so there are a lot of poor people, but they are very rich. When some people, they're very rich now, but whenever they give something, it's like cutting their flesh. So these people cannot last their wealth. And So there are some people now, maybe they have financial difficulties, but their heart is so big and they're so willing to help. That's a heart of great prosperity in the future. This person himself and his family will all become extremely wealthy. So this is a person with true prosperity. Anybody who has the true prosperity will definitely love to help others. Wow, thank you, Grandmaster. When we understand this, we really need to learn to do it. Yeah, so like Sister Teng Juan and Victoria and Song Jue, all their changes are all because they have changed their mind and they improved and starting to give more and more. So congratulate all of them. And in order for our life to be better, we need to have more compassion, more respect to Buddhas, and more respect to all sentient beings, and all our lives will be better. So now, anybody who want to improve your life, let's chant with our heart. Now, let's start.
Sakyamuni佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南 释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无 牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本 牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师 迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无 师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无 师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南 迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无 释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦。
好，恭敬感恩佛菩萨加持
Let's
护
be
佑。
grateful to Buddha's,
让我们
Bodhisattvas'
消灾灭
blessings
难
and be respectful.
如意
Thank
吉
you for
祥
allowing us to eliminate our disasters,
健康
for
长
us to have
寿
good fortune and our wishes be granted. Thank you for
虽
allowing
然
us
每
to
天
have
我们
health
就
and
这么一段时
longevity.
间念佛哈，
Every
其
day
实
we
效果
have
都
a
是
period
非
of
常
time to chant. It's
就是
already
有些人过
very
去像
effective.
有这
Some
种
people,
一个是病痛睡
you
不
know,
好的
before
啊
they may have
写来信
illnesses or
这
they
两天
cannot
其
sleep
实
well.
2天之前就写
Maybe,
信
yeah, well,
就是哎
actually,
这个
2
睡眠
days
变
ago,
好
there
了
are already
还有
people
我的皮
writing
肤
to
变
me
好
to
了
say they are
啊我的
sleeping
斑
better,
好
their
像不明
skin
显了
is
还
more
有呢
beautiful,
这个
the
眼睛明亮了啊
different,
这些
you
现象
know,
都有
dark
就口
spots
腔里啊
disappear
这个
or
唾液变得
dissipate,
甘
and
甜
then
啊
they
这是很多
feel
人
very
都
sweet
必然
in
会发
their
生的这个
mouth,
现象
have that
啊
very
对
sweet saliva, which is called sweet nectar, and their nightmares also now changed. So, Grandmaster, can I share one? Just received just now. They also benefited from sponsoring Guru Rinpoche's heart mantra. My grandma also said that at night she would see a whole house of people, and somebody told her, "Oh, your mom is here, your sister is here," and they all have passed away many years. And my grandma actually fell down in the middle of the house. Actually, it was because too many people in the house that actually made her fall. And she always need to go to the hospital. But after my mom did the sponsorship for Guru Rinpoche's heart mantra, it's already been a year and a half. She didn't even need to. My grandmother didn't even need to go to the hospital. Well, she fell in the house. She only herself can see that there are lots of people there. They actually made her fall. Other people cannot see. Sometimes people, when they're very little, they're more likely to be able to see. Sometimes when they suddenly had a big illnesses, or maybe after a thunder or lightning, and then they seem to be like the thunder or lightning go through her, or some elderly people can see. And so when the grandma told the family, nobody believed her. Maybe they think that she's just saying random things, but actually she did see something. And she was able to see a lot of the deceased people. So how to arrange it, how to help her? Actually, the family members need to do merits for them. They haven't gone to the good place, and they need merit. So whoever is closer to them, they will come and ask for help. And sometimes they if you have a dream, a deceased senior came to say, "Oh, come to me. This is actually not a good sign. You really need to make merits." Well, definitely there will be a day you need to leave this world, but if it's too early, it's not good. Yeah, it sounds terrifying, but So when we have an opportunity to chant, we have opportunity to make offerings, this really can help us to help to make this house safe and avoid disasters. And just like the sharing we've heard just now, for a year and a half, the grandmother didn't need to go to the hospital. Before, she always need to go there. It's like she So if you felt good in the chanting class, and if you have any pictures as a comparison, your face, your hands, your nails, take some pictures, and then you can compare whether the color becomes rosy, whether your complexion becomes better, and then after the chanting class, you can compare these pictures and see if there are changes, especially in the same lighting and with the same cell phone. When you compare the pictures, will be very visible, clear changes. So the changes can be in many categories. So first is the difference in color and color and complexion, and second is the difference in shape. And just now a sister shared that her palm, her hand and her feet become thicker and more plump. It's actually you can feel more plump, and sometimes you can take a picture and see the difference, especially these 5 eminences. If they seem to be bulging, then these are good. And some people in their palm, you can see a lot of the kind of those blue vessels, blood vessels, or the whole palm is kind of brownish, like a coffee color. But after some chanting, all these colors change. Then we will congratulate you. Maybe you actually saved your life, or maybe it's like the wonderful Dr. Bian Che did before. You have prevent serious disease to disappear in the early stages, to prevent it to happen. Yeah. So I hope these days you will have a pure and compassionate heart for everyone, towards your family, towards everyone around you. This is the best. When you have a very pure and compassionate heart, and if you have a very balanced diet and very light diet, balance yin and yang energy, maybe these days we will lose some weight. Our skin will be healthier and more beautiful, and maybe a lot of people, they will feel better, have better mood. All right, I wait for your good news, and I will choose some good ones to share with everyone. If you have questions, you're welcome to raise them. Wish everybody health, longevity, wish fulfillment, and auspiciousness, and happiness and joy. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time.
"大慈大悲的佛陀，天地间最尊贵的觉者，我以至真至纯之心，感恩您的降临。是你的呵护，让我走出荆棘，是你的妙法，让我身心安康，是你的博爱，让我海纳百川，是你的大愿，让我永世追随。我愿千万次轮回，拜倒在您脚下，寒久与您重逢，承接您的法藏。我愿千万次轮回，将您的慈悲播撒，领弱者品尝甘露，让一切众生自在吉祥。是你的目光，让我看透真相， 是你的庄严，让我勇于承担，是你的伟德，让我告别懦弱，是你的教化，让我得以觉醒。我愿切万次轮回，拜倒在您脚下，盼恒久与您重逢，承接您的法藏。我愿切万次轮回，将您的慈悲播撒，领弱者品尝甘露，让一切众生自在吉祥。是你的感召，让我弥陀知返，是你的智慧，让我鱼丸顿开，是你的光芒，让我点燃心灯，是你的慈悲，护佑天下太平。我愿切万次轮回，拜倒在您脚下，盼恒久与您重逢，承接您的法藏。我愿切万次轮回，将您的慈悲播撒，领弱者品尝甘露，